This week on Dumb Pitches, my guest is Alex Falcone, and we talk about mummies for a long time first. He's got a lot of bad ideas regarding mummies. And then we go through a list of just some questionable ideas that clearly have not been thought out very well, and then two that actually might be pretty good. You have to let us know. It's a wonderful episode. Here we go. Dumb Pitches.
What a bunch of dumb pitches. Oh my goodness.
Hello, and welcome to another episode of Dumb Pitches with Monica Nevi. I'm Monica Nevi, your host. This is the show where we talk to successful people about their worst ideas. I'm very excited for your guest and his plant that hopefully you can still see behind him. Alex Falcone is here. Yay.
Hi.
Yes.
Thanks for getting my plant.
Thanks for having one. You have a nice... Some people are not as organized as you.
When I do
beautiful.
like Zoom corporate work, I have to have a special red curtain that I didn't feel like hanging for you. So
well, that's nice. That's good. Now we get the inside scoop that
this is what it's really
your
like.
Plants or whatever.
You are in front of an explosion of blue.
I am. We did blue this time. The lights changed behind me. It's pretty
Nice.
cool. Third Wheel Podcast Studio, if you guys are interested. Okay. Oh, man. All right, Alex Falcone. We like to give people your good ideas before we get started. That way they know that you've had good ideas before and it's not just all bad ideas. So you, one of my favorite stand-up comedians, you were from close to where I'm from. At least you started stand-up here. I don't know. Are you actually from Portland?
No, but I did stand up. I'm stand up from Portland.
Stand up from Portland, yes. Where are you from? Sorry, now I'm going to
I grew up in Reno, Nevada.
Okay. I feel like I've heard you talk about this before. Okay.
Yeah.
Well, I don't know if that was a good or bad idea, but it came to Portland.
Growing up there, I wouldn't recommend it. It's not great. It's also on fire all the time now.
That's true.
Which is not ideal.
No.
It's not. Yeah, there's not much to sell it right now.
Okay.
But my folks are there and I like them, so that helps.
That's true. Okay, so then you came to Portland.
Yeah.
You were past winner of Portland's Funniest. You were on the
That's true.
show Portlandia. You just recently did The Late Show with Stephen Colbert, so
Yeah.
very successful stand-up. You also wrote a book called
Mhm.
Unwrap My Heart. We've had a couple other authors. We think it's very impressive that even if you can finish a book. You have a podcast called Read It and Weep. Along with, I like to give... let the audience understand that you've done used to do radio stuff. You had like a local late night show that you did. Like you've done a lot of different types of things, not just stand up. So I like people to understand that you have at least dabbled in quite a few other good ideas.
I've done a lot of things dabbling wise.
Okay.
I don't know if any of those are great ideas. Certainly saying I've done stand up, that was not a great idea.
That's
Probably
true.
shouldn't have done that. Probably should have been a doctor.
It's been an 11-year bad idea.
Yeah.
Well, yeah. So, I mean, I gave you the criteria, I suppose, of what we were going to do. And I'm sure you have thought of some, but I do want to let them know that you made a comment earlier today that Unwrap My Heart might fall into the bad category.
It definitely was a bad idea. I guess still is a bad idea. Yeah. So I guess we should start there, which is one of my skills as a comedian is that I do follow through even if ideas are not good.
Okay.
I have this thought that every idea I have is like probably the last one I'll ever have. So I'll do it. If I have an idea, I'm like, this is it.
Because you'll never have another idea. Okay.
My brain is done. I better ride this one out. So my podcast reading, we've also not a great idea, but I've been doing that for probably 13 years now.
I mean, that is something that I admire. I think there's plenty of times where I'm like, I don't know if this is good. I'm not sure if I should keep putting effort into it. And then I stop. And I think a lot of people have ideas that they just can't commit to and don't finish. And I've been proud of the things that I actually finished. So I think that's a good thing about you is that you really
so let me tell you the idea of this book, and then you tell me if you still think it was a good idea to finish writing it.
Okay.
Which is that it is a young adult romance where a teenage girl falls in love with a very sexy mummy.
A very sexy mummy, specifically.
Very sexy mummy.
Okay.
Yeah, so it's like Twilight, but instead of being a hot vampire, he is a decomposing corpse for the entire book.
But he's sexy dying.
Yeah,
okay.
he's got like a cool outfit. I don't know. She thinks he's very skinny. We like that, right?
Right, that's
hot.
true. Yeah.
Yeah, but he's just a corpse. Yeah. And the thing about mummies, no powers. They're not fast. They don't.
That is true.
They shamble everywhere. They leave a trail of dust. Water destroys them instantly.
I didn't think of that, I guess, because if you're, in that same vein of Twilight and those things, that is kind of the thing, is like both Jacob and Edward they're like powerful.
They can do stuff.
Or special.
Yeah, werewolves, vampires, cool stuff. Well, so this started as I had like read Twilight and I had read a bunch of, there was a bunch of other books in that genre that are like teenage girl, hot monster.
Right.
And we had vampires, we had werewolves, there was angels, there's demons, there's witches.
Oh, yeah.
And there's definitely one that's like I think he's a fairy, but he has like a flower that grows out of his back. Anyway, they're all crazy. They're like a hot new guy, but he's a monster secretly. And I just thought that people were running out of ideas. Eventually it would be a mummy, and then no one did that.
That's so funny, because you're like, oh, no one's thought of the mummy, and they're they skipped over that one on purpose.
I kept thinking any day now it's going to be time for mummies, and it wasn't, and so I did the mummy one. And it's still not a great idea, is my point.
I mean, I like the thought process. Did you like sell it after shows or anything? Like, what did you?
Yeah, I've sold it as merch at stand-up shows. People actually, it's fun because you hold up a book like that, and then people come up afterwards and are like, is that a real book? And so I just show them that there's words in it, and that's enough. They're like, wow, you put all these words in there.
That is a real book. That's funny because I have a meditation album, which is like comedic meditation, and I pitch it and then I'm selling it after shows, and they're like, oh, this is real. I'm like, do you think I like got this whole pitch because I ran out of material or something? Like,
this is my classic sales pitch bit.
Just kidding. No, it is.
Where I waste 5 minutes of my set talking about merch available, but it's not real.
But it's not really there. Yeah.
Yeah. So I have a pretty funny little sales pitch for it. And I don't think people actually wear the t-shirts comics sell, so they might as well not read a book I sell.
I do think a lot of people are just like, I just want to buy something from you. I don't know if they ever even download the album. I mean, I know I can go and look, but still, it's like,
yeah, you could have looked by now.
Yeah.
But yeah, I think people just want to get a memento, and so it might as well be a book, because that sits on a shelf. Maybe later a cousin or a nephew is visiting, picks up the book. Yeah. Now I got a little fan.
You need a book to read? Here you go. Unwrap My Heart.
Unwrap My Heart.
I think the title is great too. I mean, it's just, I don't think I ever really considered that a mummy doesn't really do anything. You're right. It
depends. In like the Brendan Fraser mummies, they like do ninja moves, they do backflips, they run through water, none of which make any physical. The whole point of a mummy is you can't get them wet.
Well, and I was gonna say I never really heard of that when we like went over mummification in school.
Yeah, they don't learn superpowers from that, right?
No.
The whole point is to keep him dry. So that's his main thing. Is he's hot, he's brooding, and he does not want to get near water.
Okay,
so if they kiss, he has to like wipe off his
Oh, I see.
Or saliva would destroy his careful preservation.
I mean, you follow through. That's pretty good.
And we did limit how far I could follow through, because if you remember, 50 Shades of Grey was originally a Twilight fanfic. Did you know that?
I didn't know that.
Okay, so 50 Shades of Grey started life as a fanfic where like Edward the vampire is into BDSM, and then like it got so successful as a fanfic that she took out all the copyright stuff and just made him a businessman, and that's the spin-off, and then that became hugely successful. And so my idea with my friend who I'd worked on this book with, we talked about doing an erotic fanfic of our own book, and then trying to spin that off, and that would have been called Hardcore Bandage. And that I did start working on that, but it's too hard. Writing erotic fanfic is really gross, especially when it's your own work. But I don't think anyone's ever done their own erotic fanfic, so I was kind of excited about it, but not. So I have some follow through, but not quite enough.
Oh, I mean, there's still time. Hardcore.
I mean, the Twilight parody time has definitely come and gone. I think we're past 50 Shades parody also.
I don't know. Have you been to Forks, Washington recently? They're still super.
They still got an economy based on it.
Oh my God, yes. There's like a sign, the fire danger signs.
Yeah.
But that's for vampire danger. So it like
Adorable.
Still, there's like everywhere. It's
Really adorable.
yeah. Okay, so what other ideas, I guess, did you think of besides the one you actually made?
That's the end of my mummy genre, I think. Although I did write I did actually follow through with, I wrote a spec script of Sex in the City where Carrie dates a mummy.
Ooh. Wait, why?
Because it seemed funny to me at the time.
I think it's funny, but
they're doing a reboot of Sex in the City.
mm-hmm.
They're bringing it back from the dead, and so I thought this would be a metaphor for bringing the show back from the dead, about how she brings this boyfriend back from the dead and it doesn't work because its time has passed. And so I thought it would anyway. Not that anyone was asking for that. That's pretty fun though. They do some real gross mummy sex
for
things.
Anything? They did real gross mummy.
Well, because in Unwrap My Heart, it's like a teenage romance, right? It's very chaste in the Twilight way. They kiss a little bit. They talk about some stuff. They don't do anything gross. But in Sex and the City, you see all the stuff. She just does the stuff.
Mm-hmm.
So she does stuff with him. It's pretty gross. And I sent it to my manager, and he didn't love it, but he was like, it has to probably be more disgusting. That was the only note I got.
Really?
It had to have, yeah, he's like, if you're gonna do this, go for it. Don't pull back at the end. So it's pretty gross now. So I have that.
That's hilarious.
I think I'm the only one working hard on mummy stuff right now. After the Tom Cruise movie failed, I think everyone else gave up. But
you can't let it go, because then
my genre,
the mummies will have nobody on their team anymore.
I think they're such a funny monster. If you actually went back, this is all right, we should wrap up on mummies, but if you go back, the original The Mummy, like, they made it because they found King Tut's tomb, and they were like, well, let's capitalize on this. Everyone's afraid of the curse. But the mummy in the Mummy movie, he's not scary. He like puts on a hat and just blends in. Like, the plot of the original The Mummy is he gets dug up, he gets reincarnated on accident, but his girlfriend is still buried. So he puts on a hat and spends 20 years becoming an archaeologist, and no one notices he's a mummy because he's got a hat.
For 20 years.
For 20 years. He becomes the world's best archaeologist so he can dig up his ex-girlfriend.
Yeah, it's like kids stacked on top of each other inside
exactly,
of
in a trench coat. You wear a trench coat and a hat. Everyone's like, wow, this is probably a person.
He's a person.
But that's because they have no powers. his power was to get a job.
That's true.
Like,
I mean, hypothetically, if he is alive, he really is just a dude again. You know, it's
he's but more fragile.
Just wrapped up.
Just a fragile dude.
I was always interested in mummies, but you're right. It wasn't really anything.
Yeah, what are they
spectacular? Like,
what have they got?
Nothing. No, well, it depends on what they're buried with, I suppose. But yeah,
they've got some rotten fruit and a bunch of gold, probably.
Right? Yeah.
A bunch of looted gold.
Oh, there was a Disney movie, like a Disney Channel original movie that was about a mummy too, where like the kid found the mummy, but he also had a girlfriend that he was trying to wake back up too.
Yeah, classic.
Mm-hmm.
I have not actually seen that. It's like one of the first original Disney movies, like one of the first few.
Yeah.
And I have not been able to track it down. It's one of the few
time.
Disney originals that's not on Disney Plus.
I was going to say, I wonder if it's on Disney Plus, but it's
not. I've been trying to watch this for a little while and I can't.
I wonder why. What happened with the mummy that maybe it's the copyright of the original one?
All of the rest of my ideas that I have that I thought I might share with you are really thin. This is like a list of pretty...
That's okay.
Unthought out ideas.
Well, that's what we're here for. Unfortunately, that is what happens every time. I'm like, well, what if you did this? Wait, are they all mummy related, or is that the end?
No, I think that's the end of my mummy related things. I thought it would be good to do a movie called Deja Vu 2, but it's the first movie. Stupid.
I mean, if you'd have to get people who were willing to just enjoy the fact that that's a good joke for the hour and a half or whatever it is.
No idea what else is going to happen in that movie. Yeah. I guess I could call a record Deja Vu 2. That's kind of funny.
Oh, yeah.
I have a lot of podcast ideas I've never gone through with. I did want to do a show called Man versus Food, where I just have to sit through Man versus Food and just not like it. Okay. Just like watch it all and just try to deal with
the whole thing.
Yeah.
Do you eat it all, or you just...
No, you just watch the show. It's just really hard to watch because it's not that good.
And then other people listen to this podcast, or what happens?
I don't know if anyone listens to podcasts, so I've never thought that far into it.
That seems like a personal challenge you just want to put on
Yeah, well,
yourself
I mean, that's the point. Is like he's hurting himself, so I could hurt myself. I don't know.
by watching it.
Yeah. Um, I want to have a bagel place called Go Bagel Go Home. That's really just titles. I'm really
These are
focused
fun.
on titles.
Yeah, I was like, I like fun titles. I mean, what makes the bagel shop different, though? You know,
It's a
anything, or
drive-through
is it
bagel
just-
place.
Oh, got
It's
it.
only drive-through, so you go bagel, you go home. But it also sounds like,
Go bigger. I like that.
Okay, so
that
here's
one's
a
not that bad.
here's an idea. Here's a movie idea that we could actually talk through.
Okay.
So I want to do a post-apocalyptic movie where only vegans survive.
Okay. Okay.
So it's sort of like there's some sort of like virus that's in beef or whatever.
Okay.
And so it takes out everyone, but the vegans are all fine. And so it's just like Mad Max, but all
Vegans?
frail, smug people.
But then, then what happens to them because they don't have anybody to convince to be vegan anymore if they're all vegans?
Yeah, so they have to build a whole society. I don't know. It seems like it would be tough. There has to be, I think maybe there's one person who just didn't like the taste of meat, so she's actually like pretty strong, and then she has to like lead them.
I see.
I don't know.
Okay. Well, there's got to be some sort of, I mean, if it's Mad Max, there's like some sort of conflict, you know? So then the vegans must fracture at some point, you know? There's like
for
different
sure. Yeah.
teams, different vegan teams. I don't know. They got the
Yeah,
chickpeas
and they're not right. It's
tofu or
like people who eat honey and people who don't eat honey.
Oh, there you go. Yeah, that's
And
good.
real fractious vegan fights.
I forgot about the honey thing.
Most vegans I know will eat honey. There's just some. It's too much.
Yeah.
I don't know. There could be, or there's like a freegan cell that's like fighting against them. I don't know.
What? Okay.
Freegan's like taking food out of garbage
Yeah.
stuff.
Okay. Yeah. Got it. That's.
I don't know. Okay, maybe that's
they
not.
would also be vegan anyway.
These are all such short ideas. I wish any of these involved more conversation.
No, but it works because you're going quick, so that's okay. If you only had two that were like this, then we'd be in trouble. But you have other ones, so that's good.
I do.
And then I
They're
get stuck on
They
it
are going to
'cause
get
I'm like,
worse.
I can. You said Mad Max, and so now all I see is like really. It's like vegan Burning Man, you know, like it's just dust.
Yeah, it would be very Burning Man.
Yeah,
for
yeah,
sure.
that's it. That would be what ends up happening if only vegans survived.
Vegan Mad Max is just Burning Man.
Yeah.
Okay, so remember a couple weeks ago are you a baseball person?
Not. I mean,
No.
Sure, but not.
Did you see
enough to be
the
like,
Field of Dreams game?
No.
Okay, so do you know the movie Field of Dreams from
Yes.
the 90s? Kevin Costner builds a baseball field in the cornfield, and his dad comes back to life or something.
Yeah.
Not anyway, so Major League Baseball built a park in a cornfield, and they did a game a couple weeks ago where they wore like vintage jerseys, and they did a Field of Dreams game.
Mhm.
And I have just been, and it was a big hit. People loved it. And so I have been just spending the last couple weeks thinking of different ways we should have sports teams reenact famous movies
Okay.
about that sport.
Okay.
So like the NBA could do an Air Bud game this year
With
where
dogs.
each team gets one dog.
I like that. That's good.
There's technically no rule that says you can't.
That is true. That is true.
Or
I mean, maybe there is, but
what was the baseball movie where the kid like broke his wrist and became a great pitcher? Do you remember that?
Oh, yes. He had Rookie of the Year.
Rookie of the Year.
Rookie of the Year. Yeah, and because all
So-
of a sudden his arm.
Yeah, so you do a Rookie of the Year game where Major League Baseball, one of their pitchers, they pick up a child and break his wrist and have him pitch.
I wasn't gonna say he had to
It's a little rough.
break his wrist, but
Maybe
okay.
he just sprained it. I can't remember the movie.
He broke something because I remember the cast was like
Yeah, he
he
had a
was in like
cast.
this.
And then it went.
Yeah, and then when he took it off, it was like a rubber band sound. That one, okay, that's
There was actually
Everybody
there was
gets a
a
kid.
Air Bud baseball one, which was called Seventh Inning Fetch.
yeah. And there
So you
was
could
a
also
football
have-
one too, Golden Receiver.
Golden Receiver, obviously. Yeah, for sure.
Well, what about Angels in the Outfield? I don't know how you.
Yeah, so the Angels in the
Recreate that.
outfield is like if he wins the pennant, his dad will love him again or something.
Yes.
It's been a while since I saw that.
Yes, he absentee father rides a
Yeah.
motorcycle. He
Yeah.
said, "I'll come back when the Angels win the pennant," which
Right.
at the time that wasn't going to happen.
It was unlikely.
Yes, so then he prays, and then these angels come.
So I think you could
Doc
you
from
could
Back
have
to the
Major League Baseball
Future.
could do a game where they just like, or a series of games where everyone lets the Angels win and then all dads have to come home.
Oh, that's good. We'll do it around Father's
Oh,
Day.
yeah, it's a great Father's Day game.
All the dads have to come back. Oh shit.
You could definitely do a Sandlot baseball game, actually, where you just get a huge bull mastiff to hang out on the other side of the fence and eat any home run ball.
Any home run just eats it. That's pretty good.
That would be pretty fun.
Well, and then there's another movie called The Sixth Man, which is a basketball movie about
Is that a ghost?
Yeah, it's two brothers, and I think one is Marlon Wayans, but no other Wayans. Oh, actually, there is another Wayans brother. Anyways,
I only see one one Wayans so far, but
okay, maybe his brother plays on the same team. He dunks and then holds on to the rim for too long and lands on his back, and that kills him. But then he comes back as a ghost and is still like helping the team as a ghost. It's ridiculous.
Oh, nice.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, if it's his brother, it probably is another Wayans. I don't know.
That's what I thought. But I think Sean is another, like on another team or something like that, because they both like the same girl, but maybe I'm mixing movies up. Anyways.
Looks like Kadeem hardens it. That's funny. I don't know if it is worth killing an NBA player to see if that would work.
To see if they come back.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know.
That's a little more difficult. You winced when I said we break a kid's arm. I don't know if we're just going to kill a man
Hey,
for your idea.
We're doing a theme here. Anybody want to die real quick? Well, I just don't know how you do like the ghost angel thing.
Yeah,
There's
Ghost
also,
Angels gets harder.
I mean, a kid version of Rookie of the Year for basketball is Like Mike, with which was Little Bow Wow, and he finds Michael Jordan's shoes over a telephone wire,
of course,
and then can play like him with the shoes on. So you could do everyone gets one kid.
I mean, yeah, they do. That's a common like reality trope where you get an adult and a kid to do something together.
Yeah,
you could definitely do that with a professional sports team.
Yeah, that would be pretty good. I mean, I don't know why it's so funny to me when kids play basketball. I played basketball, so obviously I'd watch more basketball. But when a kid plays basketball with a grown person, anybody, and they just block the shit out of them, I don't know why it's so funny to me every time.
Oh yeah, it's hilarious.
That happened to us in college. We went to we were volunteering with the Rotary Club near us, and we were playing bump. I'm sure.
Sure.
And we're Division I athletes. Everybody's very competitive. And one of my teammates got bumped out, so she just blocked the kid while he was shooting. And I was like, I can't do that. He was like, hey.
I have an 8-year-old nephew, and he has passed the point where like it used to be anytime he lost, it made him cry, and now he's super competitive, and he can tell if you don't try hard.
Oh.
So last time I saw him, he made me promise to never take it easy on him.
That's funny.
So we played Nintendo Soccer together, and I beat him 110 times in a row. Because he made me promise I couldn't let him have one.
Our son does that too, except he would love it if I would go easy on him, but we just don't. I never played soccer. I don't even. We had this like shorter court when we were at an apartment, and I would just score on him just over and over again,
just embarrass him.
Yeah, and I kicked one and I missed, and he was like, "Ha ha!" I was like, "It is 14-0. What are you?" Get out of here.
You gotta let him celebrate at least his one goal.
Exactly.
So I have what I think is actually a decent idea. Do you want to hear it?
Yeah.
This is a good idea that I'm too lazy to actually do. So I think
that counts.
I don't know if I want someone to take it, but so here's my legitimately good idea, which is a business that sells exclusively t-shirts for fake bands.
Okay.
So like the Oneaters from from that thing you do, right?
Nice.
Fake band.
Yes.
Or there's a part in that movie where their fake band forms a fake band called the Shrimp Shack Shooters.
Yes, the Shrimp Shack Shooters. Captain Geach and the Shrimp Shack Shooters.
Captain Geach. Yeah. So like
my dad loves that movie.
It'd be a t-shirt of Captain Geach and the Shrimp Shack Shooters, and then have like fake tour dates on the back, or whatever. Or you'd have the Oneaters band shirt. So they would look from a distance like actual band shirts, like vintage band shirts, but they'd be exclusively for like movie bands.
I would. Yeah, my father might cry if I gave him a Captain Geach and the Shrimp Shack Shooter shirt. He would be so fucking happy.
Wouldn't that rule?
It would.
See,
That'd
it'd
be
be
awesome.
perfect Father's Day gift.
Yes, and I feel like there's a lot to work with there, right? Like,
Yeah,
there's
the
bands
Spinal
and-
Tap obviously would be great. What there's the
do you
band.
need a physical store, or it could be online? Like, I feel like
it'd be
you're
online
onto
and be
something.
made to order. The real thing keeping me from doing it is I would like need an hour to put it all together. Like it's
Yeah.
so easy to have a fake T-shirt company now, as you know, as a comedian.
Yeah, we
just need a
pretty
little
much
bit of
are fake
graphic design.
T-shirt companies. Yeah.
What's
yeah, that
what's
could be so
the
many.
band from Bill and Ted, the horse band?
No, I don't know.
They're like the Horsemen. It's a horse with two heads. Oh, anyway, people are mad at home. The
I
Wild
know,
Stallions,
sorry,
that's what it is.
oh,
Wild
Wild
Stallions with a
Stallions.
Y. Anyway, so definitely a cool Wild Stallions shirt with
Hell
the two
yeah.
horses on it.
I think you're honest. I do think that's a pretty good idea.
Doesn't this seem like somebody would actually buy it?
Yeah. Oh, for sure. Especially if it was a movie that you really like. You know what I mean? Like, there's just
Yeah.
so many different. I'm sure at least so many different. There's kids movies that have little kid bands in them and stuff. They'd love that.
So many. Yeah. There's so many like well, you gotta avoid Disney Channel shows. They sue.
Oh yeah, they got the money to sue you.
Yeah, but if you're cautious about it, I think you could find people who wouldn't all sue you. I had so many more of these in my head, but now I can't remember what all of them are. But I definitely would wear fake band T-shirts.
Yeah, I think that's great. Well, then half the time, because that's a common thing now is a bit of the older generations. If a younger person does have a band on that they think they don't know who it is, that bothers them.
Right.
And
Yeah.
It could be a thing where you get some of the younger kids being like, "Oh yeah, this is a band from," and then they're like, "It's from a movie. That's not a real band."
Yeah. I think that might actually work.
I know. Now, well, can I place my order for 2 Captain Geach and
Captain
the
Geach?
Yeah, in the Shrimp
Captain
Shack
Geach is
Shooter.
coming first for sure. I don't know why that's the first one I thought of was the Oneaters, but
Well,
the
yeah,
Wonders.
that's true. The Wonders, the Oneaters, it's just great because I feel like people who at least have seen that movie would know that that's a thing.
Yeah, I mean, Captain Geach definitely would have to be like a Hawaiian shirt for sure.
Oh yeah.
Um,
Not the Wonders right now. We are Captain Geach and the Shrimp Shack Shooter. That's what. And then they're. I love that movie. And then they're on the radio, and he's like, "What are some of your influences?" And they're like all naming some. And then he goes, "Captain Geach and the Shrimp Shack Shooter." Oh, Lenny, what a funny guy. Steve Zahn.
there's
Okay.
a band from Harry Potter called the Weird Sisters.
Oh, there you go. Those would, yeah.
People would love a Weird Sisters.
Hell yeah.
Did you
that's
see the
good.
movie Green Room that was like filmed in Portland?
No.
It was a horror movie where like a band accidentally plays at this like Nazi rally, and then they say something anti-Nazi, and the Nazis try to kill him. Anyway, it's messed up.
It's a very
punk
Portland
band,
movie.
the hero punk band is called the Ain't Rights. I think that could be a
Ain't
cool,
Rights. Yeah.
cool obscure one.
I feel like you're really onto something here. You heard it here. What would the store be called?
Yeah, I haven't thought of that part yet. Oh, Sonic Death Monkey from High Fidelity.
Oh, there you go. Yeah.
That was Jack Black's band. He had like 4 other names for it at different times,
Yeah,
but
that's true.
Sonic Death. Oh yeah, they changed their name to Kathleen Turner Overdrive.
Oh
And they
yeah.
were also briefly known as Barry Jive and the Uptown Five. So you could do a series of shirts of the same shirt with just the names
It's
changed
the same
each time.
band, but just yeah.
Oh, or Parks and Rec. He's in Mouse Rat.
Oh yeah, Mouse Rat.
And you could probably do a few different Mouse Rat because he has a bunch of different names too.
Yeah, which I feel like I'm sure there's a Mouse Rat shirt that exists somewhere, but it's not all in the same. All these.
Yeah,
different
and
bands.
ours would be better because the thing is probably nobody actually. Wait, no, you're right. NBC does actually sell a Mouse Rat shirt.
That's the one that I would think they might.
Dang it!
But not these.
Oh,
other
that's
ones.
pretty funny though.
Was
All
it
right,
a
good for them.
one?
And the Peacock Shop deserves this
Okay.
$20.95 for this Mouse Rat T-shirt.
$20.95.
Oh, but see, the thing is, the shirt it just says Mouse Rat, and then under it's got the Parks and Rec logo. That's not what I want. I
Yeah,
want it
no.
to be as if I went to the Mouse Rat show.
Right, like it's an actual band shirt, not.
Yes.
We want to imagine that this band exists in our universe as well.
And it does have they also have one that has a list of their former band names: Scarecrow Boat, Malice in Chains, Punch Face Champion, Flames for Flames, the Andes. See, this would be great to sell these, but not this way. Anyway, so the thing is, obviously, none of these I don't own any of the rights. So you got to just hope all these people, like, once they catch you, are nice about it.
Yeah, that's true. Well, and then how do you? You can make the logo different. I don't know, but yeah, that's. I like that one. I think that one's pretty good, actually.
That was the idea.
I'll have to look out for that. Oh my gosh.
The other last thing I think I have right now that's like kind of good is a vintage memes account. Have you seen anyone doing this yet?
What do you mean? So
like just
the original?
It's like Instagram or Twitter or whatever, but you only post memes from like early 2000s. You post like all your base or belong to us, but just as if it's very funny. Like what else is a classic vintage meme?
I forget. There was like 5 pictures that I feel like everybody would use all the time.
The email memes that my parents would forward around. Just that. But you do it all like in the sepia tone with like cracked edges, like somebody going through old vintage photos.
Like it's antique.
Yeah, exactly. You find old West antique memes. And just post them. It could anything even like 4 years or older would be enough that it'd feel antique.
Oh,
like remember when everybody thought that was really funny?
Do
you remember there was like a kid, or like not a kid, but it was like an outline of a kid with a belly, and he was like walking real happy, and he was like, "Haters gonna hate," like that. That was like a good. I remember that one.
I know what you're talking about. Yes, I remember that one. Yeah.
So just all of these, but in a sepia tone.
That's pretty good. And honestly, from a creative standpoint, you don't have to put a ton of effort into it. You just find the old ones and then put a filter on it.
Well, if anybody at home is a good t-shirt designer and wants to partner with me on that business, I'll definitely on the t-shirt business. I'll do that.
We have somebody.
Key to both of these is low effort.
Alex Falcone, follow him, and you can reach him that way.
I said I have no more ideas, but you're in charge, so I don't want to.
No, that's perfect. No, is perfect timing. So, and we just plugged you. So if you want to work with him on t-shirts, or just follow Alex anyways. At Alex Falcone. Where else can they see? Are you doing live shows? And
I'm doing some live shows. You should definitely listen to the podcast. It's called Read It and Weep, and it started out about books that were not aimed at me, which is why I read a lot of Twilight and similar books at the time. We read a lot of young adult romance. We read like weird conservative military fiction. We went through a lot of terrible stuff. It was awful. And then after like 5 years, we started just watching movies that I actually like. So now it's just things that I'm interested in.
Okay. Well, cool. You're already on a podcast app right now, so you can just head on over to Read It and Weep right after this. That's good. And then what's your website? Or do you? Yeah.
AlexFalcone.ninja.
Has it was.
Which has just got. Yeah, you can see some live shows upcoming. Well, the big thing is that I'm recording an album in October in Portland. So if you are in the Portland area, you can come see watch me record my debut album, which probably should be called Deja Vu too. We'll see if I come up with a better name by then. I was going to call it Donda, but somebody took that.
Oh. Fucking Kanye. Awesome. Well, check out Alex. Keep watching the show. There's you can subscribe here. You can rate and review. We just got another review. Very nice. Thank you. That helps a lot. We're on Apple, Spotify, wherever else. I don't know. YouTube, obviously. And then we have YouTube memberships. So if you join YouTube memberships, it's a monthly price. There's different tiers, and you get behind the scenes videos of this show. You get early access to this show. I also have full stand-up sets. There's you get like custom emojis for live streams. There's a lot of stuff. It's worth it, and it's very helpful. Thank you. I appreciate that. But right now you can just keep watching Dumb Pitches.
You're weird.
Yes.